Hey guys, it's Mike. In this video, I want to take a moment to show off my latest card game project. Or should I say, our latest card game project. It's called Collision Gate, and I'm lucky enough to be working on this game with a group of extremely talented individuals that are actually local to me, believe it or not. This is a totally original IP, and we're going to be releasing a physical and a free-to-play digital card game. For more information, please visit collisiongate.com.
Alright, let's get right into it. The game is cross-platform and 100% cross-play. iOS users can play with Linux users, Windows users can play with Mac users, you get the picture. Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and Linux are going to be our initially supported platforms. It's fully networked and was built this way from the start. We're currently using Photon Pun for netplay as well. Getting into a game is simple, and your last player name, last room name, and last deck used, these are all saved, so next time you go to play, it'll remember them. Alright, so I'll join the CG test room. I'll have my iPad Pro over here off screen as my second player. Now, the iPad Pro sees the same UI. It's very familiar if you've played the desktop version. Because they are the same project. Should have the iPad join over here. As you can see, he pops up. So let's start the game. Okay, so you and your friend will play rock, paper, scissors to determine who goes first. Your decks are shuffled, your first 5 cards are drawn, and then from here the first player enters their action phase where they can play cards. Nice. I won that one. This won't be a full how to play Collision Gate tutorial, but we plan on including the current rulebook as a readable document in the game or alongside the game. I highly recommend that new players review this document and get familiar with the tier and elevation system, along with the concept of the Collision Gate, which is this token here on both players' fields. Now, because mine is open, I'm allowed to draw from my resupply deck. And resupply deck is where you'll find battlegrounds and equipment. Battlegrounds are essentially field spells, for those of you familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! And equipment, well, it's what it sounds like. It's like an equip card. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this just to show you guys that works. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play a monster. Let's see, Knight's Page. So when you right click on a card right now, you'll be able to see some stats, you'll be able to get card info, and right now I do have this cheat menu enabled so that you can adjust attack or adjust HP. We're not going to do that right now. Let's look at the card info for this card. So it's a tier 4 and it's an equipment card. Pretty simple. The entire description fits right here, which is nice, and our Euro style font is easy to read in the UI. So I'm going to close that, and we can't go to our engagement phase. If you try to, it'll skip it. So we'll just go ahead and flip our gate and end our turn. The first player can't do the engagement phase, of course. So then the iPad is going to come in and play whatever it wants. I'm a little scared because I know the iPad's got the Otherworld deck. And look at that, right out the gate, the iPad's able to build a scary looking field right there. Now obviously, ideally, your opponent wouldn't play tier 1 cards in the creature zone. This current version of the game is a little bit more like Dueling Network in the sense that there are some things that aren't automatic yet. And that's why we've implemented the cheat menu and the context menus just to assist players in actually being able to play the game with this very first MVP of it. So the iPad was kind enough to skip there. Engagement phase. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and enter my engagement phase and show you guys what that looks like. So I'll go ahead and drag out, and you can either select any of your opponent's cards or you can select the token to try and deal a direct attack. Now if you try and deal a direct attack when your opponent has cards, they'll be able to defend and block your direct attack. But that is a unique point about Collision Gate, is that you can declare a direct attack at any time. But I'm just going to go ahead and try and take out this monster over here, and I was able to send that card to the graveyard, no problem. So let's go ahead and end that since I've attacked with all my cards, and it's now the opponent's turn. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now let's see what happens when you get direct attacked with monsters on your field. As you can see, this dialog pops up and you are instructed to select a monster. So I'm going to defend with Morgan Le Fay, and we'll see what happens. Alright, as you can see, that card was sent to the graveyard. It basically was a shield for me, and I did not take any life points damage. So obviously, if the opponent keeps doing this, they'll clear out the field, and then right now I am open for direct attacks. So that's what's going to happen now. My life points are updating, and unfortunately I am losing the duel against the iPad big time. If you get angry at your friend and want to quit, you can use the pause menu down here and choose the forfeit duel option. Once the game concludes, both players will see this message, and you'll be asked if you want to return to the main menu. Once you do that, you can just jump right into another game from here. While we don't have the rulebook currently included in this version of the game, we do have the card gallery included. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so when you open the playmat, the cards are flipped out in front of you, and these cards are displayed from left to right in order just by their card numbers. And so also, as you can see, we've got some filtering options here. So you can filter by archetype over here. If you only want to look at the samurai cards in the game, you can do that. If you only want to look at the other world cards in the game, you can also do that. If you only want to look at the knights, you can also do that. If you'd rather sort cards by their tiers, which is another important system in Collision Gate, you can go ahead and do that as well. As you can see, we've got mostly 2, 3s, and 4s right now. Actually 10 tier 1s, but no tier 0s right now, unfortunately. And if you decide you're sick of these filters and you just want to clear, you can do that as well. You can also view different pages of cards. Just go to the next page, go to the previous page. Still working on the animations, of course. Go ahead and return to the main menu. And now I could just jump right into another game with the iPad if I wanted to. We've created this demo in 3 months, and as you can see, it's quite fleshed out thanks to my prior experience with Duels of the Roses. Going beyond that, I've got a talented team to help me out along the way. Our artists are extremely skilled, our game designers are amazing, and our game balance team ensures our designers don't get too out of control. Our IndieGoGo campaign goes live July 1st, 2022. We're hoping to receive funding so we can finish this project and solidify our company as a new developer in the indie community. Thank you to my audience and subscribers for supporting me over the years, and most of all, for giving me the courage to start my career in game development and continue building my portfolio. Please let me know if you have any questions or any comments or concerns or anything of the such, and you'll find the link to the project, collisiongate.com, in the description below, as well as the link to my portfolio, mikesantiago.xyz.